Welcome back to the current review. My name is Thamsanqa Tu, sometimes known as TT. I may be joined a bit later by a colleague, Tebogo Kotsi from the Unsaid Podcast there in Mangaung. He may be joining us a bit later on in the course of the day. Today we have decided to have a focus on young people who are making moves around the country, in the Free State and everywhere, and will be like solely focused on these moves that are made by young people, given that we are already them of youth in South Africa today or this month. And today we have an exceptional guest in studio, Katlego Mokgele, the dynamic CEO of Mangaung Unite FC. As we celebrate Youth Month, it is a privilege to have with us a young leader making significant strides in the Free State soccer, leading his team to becoming chairperson of the Free State ABC
Recording
Motsepe
in
League.
progress.
Katlego's journey is one of passion, dedication, and triumph. Through this interview, we aim to inspire many young individuals across the country by delving into Katlego's path, dreams, and the driving force behind his team, Mangaung Unite FC's resounding success. Tebogo, not Tebogo, sorry, man. I apologize. Good morning to you. And it's a pleasure, man, to have an engagement with you today. Could we start, by you telling us just a bit about your background? Where did you grow up?
Good morning, Thamsanqa. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Good. I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah. Just tell us just a bit about yourself. Where did you grow up? What led to you actually being where you are today?
Firstly, good morning, Thamsanqa. Good morning to all your viewers, your listeners on all the different platforms. My name is Katlego Mokgele. I'm born and bred in South Africa. My journey and my love for football goes way back. I went to school at St. Andrews Bloemfontein, in a former Model C school that we were not fortunate at the time to have football as one of the extramural activities. So for me to play football growing up, I'd have to take a taxi to go down to Kasi to play football, and that built some sort of resilience and a willingness to succeed in the football fraternity, and loving the game. And when you play in Kukasi and you come from the suburbs, it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing because you get all these names that really test your love for the game. I call Abu Cheese Boy, Kellogg. So all of those things.
Can I request you, man, maybe because I think we're having a struggle with your network connectivity. Perhaps if you could switch off your video and then maybe we depend on the audio, maybe it will give we'll hear you better.
Sorry, can
maybe
you
switch off your video?
Okay.
I'm thinking that maybe and then that way we can hear you better.
Okay, is it a bit better now?
Yeah, much better. It's improved.
All right. So let me just start from the beginning.
Please.
Born and bred in Bloemfontein, youngest of 4 siblings. I attended school at St. Andrews Bloemfontein, a former Model C school. That didn't have the privilege of having football at the time in the school. So my love for football started way back. So for me to play football, I'd have to take a taxi to go to visit my grandmother, spend the weekend there, play football. And that built a sort of willingness to succeed, a resilience, because you are challenged in unfamiliar territory. And in that, it built my love and my deep passion for football, because you see the essence of football in its truest form. So moving on, after the years of playing Kokasi, eventually I got scouted by Clinton Lawson to play for Bloemfontein Celtic, the youth team. But because my mother was a principal, she never allowed that. She never allowed me to change schools, and that continued my resilience and my willingness to succeed in football. So I finished my schooling off at St. Andrews High School and moved on to the University of the Free State, where when I arrived there, the team was playing for in the SAB League, which is the league lower than us, the lower than the ABC Motsepe League, and then we we managed to promote the team to the ABC Motsepe League. We managed to get the institution into Varsity Cup. That's how I spent my 4 years at the University of the Free State while studying a BCom marketing undergrad. I then furthered my studies and moved to Cape Town, where I did a BCom strategic brand management qualification and honors. And then it started again. I moved to Stellenbosch and I studied the team there under the management of Rob Bernardi, who I think is doing an amazing job. But it all led back to coming back to Bloemfontein during the COVID years, where the love began again and the love continued to grow. I went to my former school, St. Andrews High School, and I was part of the few that began the football program at that school, which was almost 10 years later. We began a football program and giving opportunities to kids who don't know the struggles that we faced growing up. And that led to me getting involved in Mangaung Unite Football Club. In my time at Mangaung Unite, it's been 2 seasons now. In the first season, it was the team's first season back in the ABC Motsepe League, and in the second season, we managed to come out victorious in the provincial league, only to succumb at the national playoffs. I hope that gives a bit of a background about myself.
It does. It does. I just want to get, because you see, you started playing soccer and being interested in sport from primary school and high school, if I hear you correctly.
Yeah.
As you went to varsity, you studied management, marketing, and courses that one would think are not necessarily related to sports development or sports itself, but are more business. What led to that, or is there a relation somehow to what you have studied and as well as sports?
I think if you look at football in different institutions, it is eventually becomes a business, and it's important to have a business background. So business, marketing, and eventually sponsorships. It does align. It is not necessarily
Okay.
sports management. What is a hobby and turning it into a sustainable business venture for the owner, for the players, so that you don't have that thing where you, after a couple of years, when the money dries out, that the team succumbs and has to sell their status. Yeah.
So you said, when was the Mangaung Unite FC formed, and what have been some of the major achievements and challenges perhaps of the team since you started it?
So the team initially it stems from Mangaung United, which in the olden days, 1969, was still in the professional leagues. Through the different ownerships, it then got defunct at a certain point, and then our current owner and sole sponsor of the team, Mayor Sinkile Shabani, purchased it in 2012. And over the years that she's been running the club, we have won the league, the local ABC Motsepe League 5 times. She said, we took a break and then we won it again. So those are the major successes. And besides that, it's the number of players that have been scouted by professional teams, the likes of your Pule Modi, who's at Kaizer Chiefs, Tebogo Kotsi at Kaizer Chiefs, Bulelani Nikani, the captain of Polokwane City, all coming from a team in Bloemfontein trying to make it into the professional ranks. So those are some of our successes. Yeah. Some of the failures or some of the challenges that we have faced, it's national playoffs. After winning the provincial league 5 times, you'd expect by now that, sure, we are a professional team, but it's not that easy. It's a very challenging journey, and national playoffs has been the one hurdle that we have been struggling to overcome as a team.
And being the CEO of this team,
Yeah.
what is your vision for the club, in the next 5 years to 10 years?
I think the vision of the club, my vision for the club is to be in the PSL. Is to be in the PSL, being a competitive team in the PSL, not just being a team that adds numbers. That's number one. Number two, it's being a sustainable club. I think that, if I would say that is my sole objective, to get the team to a point where it does not rely on the funds of the owner, where if the owner, something were to happen to the owner financially, the team does not suffer the consequences of that. And that's why I speak highly about sustainability, creating a team that can stand the test of time. And I'll keep making reference to Stellenbosch FC and their CEO, Robert Bernardi. I think they've done an amazing job, and it's something that should be studied, how to form a team that can really sustain itself year after year without having to go back to the owner asking for 2 million to sign a player, 3 million a year to sign a player. So that is my vision for the team.
And like somebody like myself, I'm not really a great sport fanatic. What I've seen though in the townships is that some owners are CEOs, they are coaches, they are everything of the teams that were not, please define for me what your role is in the team itself. Are you a CEO who's also a coach?
I think I'm the strategic head of the team, giving direction as to where we want to go as a team. Obviously, with the consulting with the owner, consulting with the different heads of the team, be it the team manager, be it the head coach, as to how we plan to negate the next 4 or 5 years, how we plan to tackle this season. I'm not a coach. I have no interest in being a coach. But if I was to just shed a bit of light, maybe some team owners have no other option because it's limited funding. So they have to be the coach, the driver, the masseuse, and being a matter of funding and not being able to get to the right people that they can trust in the right positions. But as for me, I'm the strategic head of the team, planning and trying to implement things that will make the team more sustainable going forward.
If one wants to run a sustainable team, as you keep saying, how expensive is running a team which may seem to be sustainable? Just how what is the efficiency required in order for you to be able to run a team?
So in the ABC Motsepe League, it is very pocket intensive. There's very little to no grant from ABC Motsepe League, right? So in this league, it's almost impossible to run a sustainable model. But in the next level, which is the National First Division and the PSL, you do get a grant, and the sustainability of it is living within the budget constraints. So if, for example, in the NFD, you're getting 550,000, it's managing your team within that money and not having the owner spend money that they don't have to sustain the team, which then leads to trying to get sponsors and trying to make the team self-sufficient away from the owner.
Mm, mm. And
Yeah.
just being on this thing of the money, with sometimes we make budgets that are either real or like they can be real, like there's real money, and some of it is money that is hoped that will come in at some point.
Yeah.
And some of it is money that has been pledged but is still not in your bank account. But if you could give us like a figure per annum, how much does it cost you to run a proper team?
A proper team, I can only speak about Mangaung Unite. I think per season it costs us about 2.4 and north of 2.4 million rand to run the team. That is training facilities, playing gear, training equipment, food for the players that come from out of town, housing for those players. We're talking north of 2.4 million rand at this level. At the next level, it'll obviously be a lot more, and at the level above that, same would happen.
And does government play any role in terms of because I would think that such initiatives as sports clubs, they play a role into social cohesion, social development, bringing people together. Does government play any role in terms of assisting any form of funding?
So I think our government, our local government, the Free State Department of Sports, the Free State Premier, for the first time this past season, they did come on board. Maybe not in the way that we would like, but I think it's a start, and it is to be appreciated. There was a formation of the Premier Cup, which is a tournament. I think it was the end of season tournament where they gave teams about 100,000 each just for participation. There was different prize monies depending on where you finished, and I think that's a start, because in the Free State we don't have a professional club, so it is important for government to come on board and to hold our hands as we trying to make this dream a reality, not only for ourselves but for the community at large. I think if you had the fortunate pleasure of being witness to the Bafana versus Zim game, that goes to give a taste of what it's all about. That's the potential that we have in Bloemfontein and the Free State as a whole. So I think government is coming on board and they've noticed the need for it. When we went to playoffs, the Department of Sports did assist us in our preparations. They gave us some money that did assist in national playoffs.
And personally for you, Katlego, besides running the Mangaung FC, Unite FC, are there any other business ventures that you are running on your own? And if there are, how do you balance your time between these responsibilities?
Thamsanqa, can you please repeat that? I didn't hear that, sorry.
Oh yeah, I was saying that if do you have any other things that you do, like maybe business ventures that you run besides being the CEO of the football club? And if you do have, how do you balance your time between these two things, which may be requiring of a lot of time, from yourself?
So when I took the job to be the CEO of Mangaung Unite, I was working a full 9-to-5 job. I was working a full 9-to-5 job, corporate company, in their marketing team, and all you can do is be present in the moment. And when you are dealing with Mangaung Unite stuff, you must be present and give it your full attention. And when you are dealing with other business ventures, whether it was my 9 to 5 corporate job or whether it's the business ventures that I do have. It requires energy, it requires you being fully present in whatever you are doing. You can't be at Mangaung Unite thinking about your corporate job, and you can't be at your corporate job thinking about Mangaung Unite. So managing your time and diarizing everything that you need to do and you need to achieve in a day, it helps a lot. And being young is that's what you have. You have energy, and you can tackle a lot of these things at once because you have youth on your side. You have that energy to achieve things.
So Mangaung FC
Yeah.
is the only thing that you're managing right now. And what is your personal goals? From now into the next 10 years, where do you personally want to see yourself?
I think firstly it's growing football in the Free State, and then eventually to be growing football across the country. Being a football administrator, making a difference that we often cry for, but one day we'll get the opportunity to lead in higher positions at higher companies, and Mangaung United has given me the opportunity to grow with it. And I will forever be grateful for this opportunity that they've given me. And one day we will be talking a different story about how we grow football in South Africa as a whole.
And what kind of relationship does the club now have with the community of Mangaung?
So I think in its truest essence, Mangaung United is a community project at this current juncture because it's not a profit. It's not making any profit. There's no money there's not a lot of money coming in. At its current form, it's a community project because it gives 28 young men an opportunity to pursue their professional careers. It gives them a platform. So we are growing, and we are having talks with the owner as to how we can grow to having younger youth clubs and female club, and just to grow it slowly. We don't want to rush into something, then we do a bad job in it. So over time, the company or the organization will grow. Last year, we managed to organize the Mangaung Challenge, which was the first of its kind. It was a preseason tournament where we invited Jwaneng Galaxy, which are the champs of the Botswana Premier League, and we invited Bantu FC from Lesotho, which were also the Premier League champions from their country. And we had a tournament, hosted it in Bloemfontein, just to show our intention to grow and to include the community. We had the elderly women selling on the side of the street. We had in the stadium that day the hawkers. So those are the type of things that we will continue to be a part of and continue to advocate for, to create an economy around football, not just on the pitch. Yeah.
And earlier you spoke about your involvement in the ABC Motsepe League national playoffs, and I want to say congratulations on making it there. Even though you lost the games, what positives do you take away from that experience? And how does the team plan to work, and what are the next steps for your club following that experience?
Firstly, Thamsanqa, the national playoffs are not an easy task. I think out of the 144 teams across the country, you are down to 9, and all those teams, I give them a massive salute to all the work they've done. But for us, it was an interesting journey because in both games we played very well. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, and we were punished for that. And the lesson that we took from that is you take your chances. If you take your chances, you'll succeed. So we back at the drawing board now, planning for the new season. Maybe altering our recruitment strategy a bit. Go for some players maybe that have a bit more experience and blended well with the youth. And that we are hoping will be the secret and to us promoting the team in this coming season.
Cool. And as we are celebrating Youth Month, what message do you have for young aspiring leaders and soccer enthusiasts in South Africa generally? Like, what is your message for them?
I think for Youth Month, and I'll make a sporting reference. For Youth Month, we need to take note of people like Relebohile Mofokeng, Jude Bellingham, Lamine Yamal. These are young players in the football space, but no one says to them they are too young. There's a saying in football that says, "If you are good enough, you are old enough," and that goes to all facets of life. We cannot wait so that one day, when I'm old enough, I can be part of these conversations or be part of the growth of the country. If you are good enough now, get involved now and make a difference now. If you're in the room, know that you are representing not only yourself and your family, but you're representing young people across the board. You're representing, whether you like it or not, the youth of South Africa. And that when you're in the room, make that difference and make it count.
I feel that if I were to ask you any further questions, we would be stealing away from that very powerful message that you have just given us. And at that, I just like to say thank you very much for having given us your time, and wish you all the best, man, in your endeavors as the team, and as well as yourself as Katlego, to really achieve everything that you set your head to. And yeah, man, all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for having me on this platform. I hope that one day we can engage again. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you very much, man. We'll definitely look out for more opportunities such as that. Thank you.
All right,
We are
thanks.
Tebogo Mokgele from the Mangaung Unite FC, talking about his involvement in the team as the CEO, as well as his personal ambitions. And we can tell, man, that young people are inspired, young people are taking opportunities to themselves, and young people are getting education for their passions. It's not just a question of being driven by passion. Go out there, get educated, go back and do what you love to do, and make money while doing it. We'll be back with yet another exciting interview in 20 minutes. We'll be back. We are